Okay, so let's take a look at our next example. What if we had a frequency distribution table instead, right? Let's say, once again, you're asked to find the mean, right? But this time we have a table, right? We have 1 through 8 as our data items. And our frequencies are 1, 3, 4, 4, 6, 5, 3, and 2. So we're asked to find the mean here. What I suggest you do is to create a new column where we multiply these numbers, right? So what we can do, let me show it down here, is we add a column, right? We have x, f, and then we're going to do x times f. Right, so once again, we add a column where we multiply your data item times f. All right, let me rewrite these frequencies. So 1 times 1 is a 1, 2 times 3 is a 6, 3 times 4 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 6 is a 30, 6 times 5 is a 30, 7 times 3 is a 21, 8 times 2 is a 16. Right, so we add a column where we're multiplying x times f. And we are going to, remember this means sum. We're going to sum that column. And we talked about this in the past, in the previous section. If we add those numbers up, that will just be our n, right? Sum the f column. So let's take a look. Let's first go ahead and let's find this one first, right? And then we'll go ahead and find this one second, right? So we're doing a 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 6 plus 5 plus 3 plus 2. We added those numbers and we get 28. All right, all we did was just add this column, right? Now let's add these numbers. 1 plus 6 plus 12 plus 16 plus 30 plus another 30 plus a 21 plus a 16. That gives us 132. So in order to find our mean here, we're going to do the sum of that last column, and we're going to divide that by n. So we get 132 divided by 28. And when we divide that, we get some kind of a decimal, about 4.71428. And let's round to the hundredths. So your mean would be 4.71. So a nice example of calculating the mean when you are given a frequency distribution. How about another example of a mean? This time we look at a histogram, right? We're going to omit some data items. right? Remember that. So how about we have a 10, 20, 30, 40, and a 50. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We see 10 one time. We see 20 two times. We see 30 4 times. We see 40 2 times. And we see 50 1 time. Okay, so we want to find the mean here. Remember what we learned at the very beginning of this section, or of 12.2, is that if we have a histogram, right, a histogram is really just our table, right? So now we're going to work backwards. We're going to go from our histogram to our table, right? And we're going to do what we did in the previous example. Right, so we have to make our table, and now we know that we have to include this last column, so we'll do that here too. Remember, this refers to our data items. This refers to our frequency. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Ten is seen once, 20 twice, 30 is seen 4 times, 40 twice, 50 once. Once again, we look 10 one time, 20 2 times, 30 4 times, 40 2 times, 50 1 time. Now we multiply. 10 times 1, 10. 20 times 2, 40. 30 times 4, 120. 40 times 2 is 80. 50 times 1 is 50. And then we sum, right? We sum. And we add these numbers. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. This gives us 10. Then we add these other numbers. 10 plus 40 plus 120 plus 80 plus 50. We get 300. Remember, this refers to our lowercase n. This refers to our sum of x times f. So our mean is found by doing the sum of x of f over n, which equals 300 over 10. So our mean here is just 30. So a nice example of finding the mean. So we see a few examples of finding the mean. Obviously, the first one is always the easiest if I give you data items, right? But if I give you a table, you have to add that column, then work it out. And if I give you a histogram, right, with this histogram, you have to make your table and then work it out. Okay, the next video I'll talk about calculating our